Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of District 57. Thank you so much for being here. It's another fabulous Saturday DEC meeting. We've had how many, Ed? Exactly 6? Is this the 7th? We are almost done with this year. We literally are seeing the finish line, And that is one of the big things I want to talk about today is where are we? And what are we doing? How about that? So let's look at the agenda. We have myself for 15 minutes. I have tons and tons of things. I'm going to bring a lot of people on screen. Linda, our wonderful district finance manager, has a fantastic report. Money, money, money. Woo! We've got effective club visit roundtable, which I know a lot of area directors here are going to be excited to share their knowledge. This is a roundtable. I'm going to be facilitating, but mostly you are going to be talking to us about what's working in effective club visits. Then Kate is going to talk about training. And also we're going to just hear on the numbers. So I think maybe if Lisa wants to give a little bit of numbers, like how are we doing on training? We have a lot of incentives around training. Next, we're going to play a fun game called Mike Raffety Report Game, which I've had a lot of fun building. Abe is going to talk about the district bucks and incentives. Kevin's here, our immediate past district director, to talk about the succession planning and how we're going to have a great year next year with our district. Dennis is going to do a new club spotlight. We have a ton of new clubs starting. Ashley is going to talk about coaching and ambassador program. And then finally, you all are going to have a lot of time to do club, your internal club division meetings. All right, but we're going to start off with a little bit of reflection. So I am going to paste in a link. You guys, if you know me, I like to make it fun. So let's go in here and click the link. And let me just see what comes up. All right, you guys, I am going to put you guys on mute. I hear, is it possible just anyone who's currently having 2 meetings? All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and put in the answer. The answer is, why did you get into district leadership? Why? Why did you get into district leadership? What was it that was exciting for you? We're going to reconnect with our why on this Saturday morning. Does everyone have the link? Does anyone see it? It's in the chat. Oh boy. Okay.
Bet it's not live.
I'm seeing a bunch of answers.
The link's not live.
It's not live. You might have to copy it and paste it.
Yeah, you can copy the link and put it in a browser and it'll work.
Yeah, you might have to copy.
You just do it like a copy and paste.
It may not.
Yeah, this one is good.
There we go.
Yeah, I have a ton of answers coming in. So I'm going to share my screen. And you guys should be able to see this. So let's just reconnect. And as I'm clicking the buttons to share, I am learning so much as a district director. And then my time in the trio, I'm going to write a tell-all book. Okay. So you guys all better be nice. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm serious. Like the things I'm learning as district director, I never would have imagined the things I've learned so far. Okay, let's look at this. DTM, learn, Toastmaster, skills, wanted. So this is a one-word word cloud. So if you type in like a sentence, it's going to be a little bit confused. But anyways, president, organization, passion, fun, help, support, grow. Wow, it's just learn. I think DTM and learn are like the biggest ones, but you can see grow, wanted, area, skills, support. I love support. We were just talking about that right before we got started here. All right, So that is why we're here. Like we need to reconnect with the why. I think like I personally need to always get reconnected with my why. And the reason why is I've been on nonstop Toastmaster meetings literally for probably 3 years. So we just got out of mid-year training. The trio have spent, oh, George, how many hours? How many hours? Is it like 16, 20? How many hours?
4 times 6, 24 hours.
24 hours in mid-year training. So you guys think like, oh, officer training, it's so like, oh, it's 4 hours every 6 months, like so much training. We're in 24 hours of training twice a year. This is mid-year. We went to earlier training, but the things we learn in this training, this is, I'm telling you, Toastmasters is like getting an MBA. It is so incredibly powerful, the things that we're learning. We took this class on conflict resolution. Basically, whenever you're talking to someone, they see one side of a beach ball, like their view on whatever the situation is. It's like a beach ball. And they're like, oh, it's red and green. And then you're looking at it and it's like, it's yellow and blue. And so you guys can start arguing like, I see this and I see that. But if you actually understand, like every situation has two sides. And if you turn the beach ball around, like, oh, it's got two sides. These are different colors. The other person's not a bad person. They just are seeing something different. So just trying to ask when you're working with people, like, what are you seeing? And it's just amazing. Like the tools that I'm learning are incredible. Okay, so I want to talk about some really fun, exciting things. Dues are due. How many of you have a club, that is like collecting dues already? Anyone? How many of you have announced it? I know Tong announced it at our club. All right, it looks like Sally, George, Ed. I'm seeing people, it's Lisa, Dennis, Mark, pretty much everyone. Okay, Carolyn, you guys are great. Michelle, I see people popping in here. Yeah, the dues are due. And I always tend to go towards like, let's do word clouds. But we do have to remember that the dues are due. And as much as we would love, like, why isn't Toastmasters just free? Well, the truth is skin in the game is a real thing. And a lot of clubs that are their government, their company pays their dues. Actually, they're not as invested. So dues, it's not very much. And it really makes people invested, because how many people would go to the gym if it was a free membership? Like you feel like, oh, I paid this membership, I have to go. I know that gyms are not a thing right now, but I feel like the small amount of dues that are due, it's skin in the game. It helps us be invested and helps us focus. How many people are members of multiple clubs? I'm always interested in that. What? Almost everybody. Wow. That's amazing. So you guys are paying for all those clubs because you see the benefit. So when you're working with your presidents and your officers, just remind them about the benefits. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for an MBA. We get the same value here in Toastmasters for $750 a month. It is pretty much unheard of how good things are going. Okay, let's talk about
it's $7.50, not 750.
Right?
It still would have been a good deal.
750 for this much fun, it would have been great, but it's only $7. So that decimal matters. I am so excited to say that our conference planning has kicked off. We have an amazing keynote speaker who is not being announced yet, but I mean, it's like the biggest name. We can't mention it. So George and I had a kickoff meeting and it was so good. Things are going to be very exciting. It's on May 1st. So keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to play a little video for you guys and we're going to see how this works. It's always fun to try new things in front of 100 people. So can you guys hear this?
At some point, everything's going to go south on you. Everything's going to go south and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now you can either accept that or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem, then you solve the next one, and then the next. And if you solve enough problems, you get to come home.
All right. You guys, it's not so dire. So that was the end clip from The Martian. And if you guys have seen this movie, this poor guy gets lost on Mars. He gets abandoned. His spaceship comes home without him, and he has to just survive. And it is such a fun, thrilling movie. But I like how the end is like, and if you do it, you can come
At some
home.
point, everything's
So
going to go
you
south.
guys are already home. But the thing is, what I love about right now is that we can do anything right now. Right now is the moment that we have full power. We are so set up right now. Our district is fantastic. We are really in a good position, and it's February. So that means we have several months before June. June to do any change is too late. Like if you try to like get a bunch of paid members in June or try to put a bunch of levels in June, like you guys, the ship has sailed. But right now is the time that we can make change. So I'm really excited. I know it's probably been hard for everyone, a lot of Zoom screens. I understand, I've been there. But I would say that if we can just focus on getting things done right now, this is when we can make change. And I think that the things we need to do right now are very simple. Like always go back to basics, and that's work the incentives. We have worked very hard. The trio has worked very hard to come up with incentives that are going to move the needle. These clubs love incentives. And like we talked about, that $750, we get that money back to give to the clubs. We want to give the money, right, Linda? We want to give the money. We do. We just want to give it to them. So please help us. I'm going to call on Sally right now. Sally, what's going on with open houses? Are they working?
Oh my gosh, they are working.
Woo!
I want to tell you, I'm just gonna throw myself under the bus and let you know January has been a hole for me, and I apologize ahead of time, but let me tell you, I am currently working on 18 open houses. 18 open houses. We already have 27 that have been completed and approved. We're just working those through the system. We have more that are planned and are ongoing. And I want to give a shout out to A Cut Above Toastmasters for a struggling club that has not given up. They have held a number of open houses where nobody showed up as guests. Nobody. They had the whole open house organized. Last week, they had another open house and they had 4 or 5 guests and 1 joined. They are just not giving up. So, hey, A Cut Above, you guys are awesome, and you're all awesome. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to get caught up this weekend, and you will be hearing from me, and you will be getting confirmations on your open houses. What works? Invite everybody who ever visited your club. Put it out on LinkedIn and Facebook and Nextdoor. Put it out there on the Toastmasters website. People come, particularly in this age of Zoom meetings. They are starting to come. So, fellow Toastmasters, keep it up.
Woo! Thank you so much, Sally. Thanks for bringing the energy and the excitement and just good things. And the newsletter articles are amazing. I love the heart-to-heart call out. Good job, heart-to-heart. And I got my hearts in the house today. Thank you guys so much. Everything we're doing, I think storytelling, we got to tell the stories. The celebration of the stories is what helps people remember we're not all alone, stuck in our little houses, isolated, looking at Zoom screens all day. Like things are happening. It's very exciting. I want to actually call out some really amazing things. And I know I'm going to run out of time soon. Club visits. Do you know that we have an incentive for club visits? I think it's the first 10, Abe can keep me honest here. The first 10, Ed and Abe, is it the first 10 who get their club visits in, all of them in, are going to win swag. Like
That's right. That's right. That's a new incentive.
Who approved this? This is like too good. It's too good. You already, like, it's part of your job just to do it. But if you get it in first, you get swag. This is just incredible. So I'm really glad that someone approved that. I think it was me. Put that in there. It's a really good thing. But I am blown away. Winnie has already done all her club visits. Am I right? I was trying to figure it out. Yes, Carolyn is nodding. Winnie, are you here? Tell us something. Yeah. Say something to us.
Yes, I did it.
She did it. I am like Division D is always so super strong. But I mean they're representing, but there's 10 spots. So it's not just Division D, even if all Michelle and Tong and everyone put Regina put all of their, and I'm missing people and I'm so sorry. Everyone's gonna be really mad at me now. But anyways, even if all of Division D puts their stuff in, we still have more spots. So who's gonna be in that 9? That 9 left? I hope I'm building some FOMO here. Okay, good. Let's move. Oh my goodness, we have a whole section on new clubs because we are starting new clubs. It is easier than ever to start new clubs. And oh my goodness, Toastmasters has extended the charter, no charter fee, no new member fee. You can start a club right now. If you always wanted to start that, make your own soda at home club, you can start it. It can happen. Okay. Yeah. So I'm really, really excited about where we are. I think we're in a position. It's not too late as long as you take care of your own energy. And like we were saying, like, take care of yourself, number one, make sure your family's healthy and strong. And then after that, have some fun with Toastmasters, reconnect to your why. I think it's always important to remember, why are we here? What are we doing? Because if we can't remember why, we're just not going to do as well as we need to. All right, so let's move on. Remember, everyone, we're here to build new clubs and to support all clubs in achieving excellence. If I ever ask you for a gift card, it's not me, because gift cards are banned. All right, I'm going to go to our finance manager report now. Thank you guys all so much for my opening. I really enjoyed that. It was my time to have a little bit of fun. So let's bring on our amazing Linda Patton. Take it away, Linda.
And Bet you're going to put up my slides. Thank you. It's so great to be here and to see you all. I have to say that the month ending in December also ended the quarter. And so we are doing mid-year audits right now. The audit committee is busily working on the Concur expenses that we ran through. And so far, it looks really, really clean. So keep your fingers crossed. And I'm looking forward to a really positive report. Looking at the month end, you will see that we are healthy. We're still bringing in great revenue as far as membership is concerned. And we were much closer with our expenses to our income and only had a profit of $145 this time. Next. This is the thing that I find really, really fascinating. We have brought in $3,000 more than what we budgeted. So we're on a roll with membership. And I'm really proud of you all because that just gives us more money to spend, right? Well, I'd like to spend it. As you can see, we have spent $10,000 less than what we budgeted. We have money to burn, but it's got to be on the right things, obviously. So as you can see, we need to do more marketing outside of Toastmasters, more Facebook ads, that kind of thing. And while we're not expecting a whole lot of meals and food, I do know that one person did put in her mid-year training with Toastmasters, but it was a whole $30. Anyways, there are places for us to spend more money. And the incentives are a great way to begin doing this. I'm starting to see clubs put things through Concur. And I'm really, really, it's like they've dipped their toe in the water. They're not big expenses, but they're testing the system to see how it works. And I'm getting really excited about it. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year is going to look like. Next. Okay, the big thing here is your purchases must be completed by June 1st. Otherwise, your incentive money goes away. So just remember, you can buy cameras for hybrid meetings, microphones, computers, Facebook ads, and any other online promotions that you have. We've talked about thank you cards, flowers, gift certificates at Toastmasters, products at Toastmasters, gifts up to $25, journals, pads, totes, pens, all sorts of things are possible. The one thing you can't buy is, all together now, Gift cards.
Cards.
Right. Okay, but you can do Toastmasters gift cards. You can do registration for conference. That could be a gift. So there are things that you can do. And like I said, I'm ready. I've got my approval stamp all set. I just need you to purchase stuff and to send it through Concur. Make sure too that your treasurer and or someone else, I know one of my clubs, the treasurer is already on in another club. And so we had to bring in the president. Make sure that coming out of TLI this term, that everybody gets their Concur account. And I think that may be it. Yeah, well, we know what we can't buy, right? Can't pay speakers, no alcohol, and no gift cards. Bet I turn it back to you unless anyone has a question.
But what if we really want to buy a gift card? Can we please do it?
Over my dead body.
Oh, and you know why? It's because the IRS changed the ruling. It's not us, guys. Everyone's like, please, but can I just, like, the IRS, they will take away our non-for-profit status, and then we'll have to pay taxes on that $750, and that's going to eat up that money real quick. So this is about the actual law. It's not just Toastmasters being rude to us.
And I'm just not being mean.
You're not being mean. You're
by the way, even so, I was asked by my audit committee why TLI spent money on DoorDash, Amazon, and that kind of thing. And Lisa, you and I had that conversation. And I said it was before we knew the policy had changed. It had been approved. We have not done it since. So we still have to make a note in the audit that we recognize the fact that it was out of compliance. And Michelle Petticolis, you have a question.
I do. And that is for area directors who are putting on contests right now. Do we have a budget for giving gifts to like our contest chair, our chief judge, who are doing tons and tons of work? What do we have available? Or do we just kind of like say, well, thank you?
Thank you, sir. So worthwhile. George, I believe we said we had $20 or $25 that we could spend. I mean, I've looked at this in the budget and I don't have it on the top of my head, but I remember it being around $20 to $25 for area contests per area. So it's not much, but
how about we'll get back with you on?
Yeah, I can. When I get off, I'll check it out because I can do that and I'll put it in the chat.
And then the other question is, do I use my Concur account that I have set up for one of my clubs in order to submit those receipts? How does that happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a per member. That member ID is your login. So if you're acting as an area director, you just put it in the notes and say like, thank you for my area contest people.
The only challenge will be, Michelle, that it will drop into Heart to Heart's bank account.
That's true.
So the money will come out of Heart to Heart's bank account instead of the area director account? Not good.
because I believe that that's the bank account you put in to the system, and you can only have one bank account.
Let's do a follow-up afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a little bit of complication, and we are 3 minutes into our next section.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. You guys chat, okay? And let us know what you learned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about effective club visits. So this is a round table, and I want to hear what people are doing that's working well. And while you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to say the things that I'm looking for on the club visit. So George, especially, because no one's running against George right now for district director, George and I are especially looking for people who are coming up the ladder, people up and coming Toastmasters, leadership. That little section, I copy those names right out and I send those people an email because I have all the emails in the whole district. And I say, hey, someone said that you are so cool. Wouldn't you love to run a contest? Wouldn't you love to run for area director? Wouldn't you love to be my conference chair? Like, those people's names are very important. So when you're looking at your club visit, find those people who are there, who like, I mean, who's here because someone put their name in that box? I think Tong is here. Ed, Lisa, who else? Did anyone put your name? Oh, Dennis. Someone put Dennis's name in that box once many years ago, and then he became a district director, governor back then. Julie's coming on screen. Did someone put your name in that box? So this is not just like a fill in the box with just random things. This is an important field. Okay, that was my little soapbox. Who wants to share things that work? We actually have a nice piece of time for this. Who wants to share things that are working in area visits? And it could be like building the relationship, anything. Tong looks like she's ready to hit the button. Do you want to share something?
I think I visit my clubs multiple times, all of the clubs, and I'm building some good relationship with the club members. And I know many of them now. So when I talk about and they know me. So I can feel that they treat me as part of them. So I can feel this this good rapport is building. And I feel more confident asking them to do things. So that's from my visiting them often and show them that I'm there to support them.
That is beautiful. That was beautiful, Tong. Thank you so much. All right, Smita, what do you got?
What I want to share is we also need to look from their shoes. How are they viewing us? Do they think that we are interrupting their meeting in some way or the other? One of the one of the club's president sent me a note. Smita, you don't have to come unless you really have to, because sometimes I feel intimidated. That's it. All good. I step back, but I work with them. And that person is my key person for my area contest. I don't want to say the name of the person or the role she's playing. She's very helpful. She's doing fantastic. I just wanted to take a step back. That does not mean that we are not working together. We are working stronger now than before. I have to admit that. So sometimes we have to listen and understand from their point of view as well. It's going great. Thank you.
Wow. Smita, I really appreciate the vulnerability to bring up something that like kind of a tricky relationship, but the fact that it's going forward, it's working. But I really, nothing is easy. Whenever two or more humans are involved, it becomes very complicated. Dennis, you had your hand up.
Just a quick thing, because I did have a very good relationship with one of my clubs, they were, for some reason, assigned a club ambassador. And this, I could tell it was not a good fit. Knowing the ambassador, knowing the club, I was able to send that message before the actual assignment was done. The ambassador still contacted the club, and the response from the club president was pretty much a mirror image of the response that I had sent. So that was nice to see that I was able to represent them because I understood the situation very well. And if I hadn't been doing the visits, I wouldn't have been able to have that kind of insight.
I am hearing that relationships are everything, because I mean, there's no easy way to define relationship. You have to know it. You have to take the time. You guys are doing great. All right, I see more hands. Oh my goodness. Let's go to Elliot. I want to stick with area directors right now. Area directors, Elliot, tell us about what you're seeing. What's working with area visits?
Well, as all clubs are different, and I try to work with the clubs organically. So suggesting too many things, I've made that mistake with a certain club, but they're a great club. And then other clubs are like, please tell us more. What I find is the best communication channel is to really have one or two people I can make phone calls to and talk to, just sometimes like, how are you doing? You know, it's really cold these days. And then break into the business. Don't like go straight for the jugular. Like, obviously, if it's just all business, you're not going to establish a good relationship. So I on each club, I have two people I can talk to regularly, probably about once or twice a month, you know, like, and then I also, I think, not just going to one or two meetings, I think I've made it to 4 or even 5 visits for 3 of the clubs that I have, which has been really useful. Anyway, that's all.
Elliot, I love it. The relationship don't just get down to business, say something about the weather. You know, that small talk is a skill that I feel like a lot of type A's forget sometimes. Maybe I'm talking about myself. Okay, let's go to Drew because he's had his hand up for a bit, and then we'll go to Michelle. That mute button is sometimes hidden. It's like hard to find. All right, we're gonna go to Michelle until Drew finds the mute button.
And then you'll cut me right off.
Nope, you can finish your whole sentence.
Oh, good, good, good. What works for me, as you said, as everyone's saying, is relationships, but also being an advocate for them. So I had one president who was setting up a contest and needed one of the division or the district Zooms, and somehow the communication wasn't going through between him and the person who was setting it up. And I cut through, made the phone call, got it set up. And so being an advocate, my presidents knowing that they can turn to me if they need help or assistance. I had another club ask me, they needed a speaker because they didn't have a speaker. And I said, yeah, I'm in, I'll be your speaker. So I think that really helps.
I love it, being the advocate. And also I think there's this comfort zone that dealing with conflict is hard. And this is a chance to, there's nothing, this is just a place where leaders are made, where it's a place to practice, it's a safe place. We can get into this comfort zone, discomfort. We can jump in there and we can say, hey, I'm going to try something that I normally wouldn't try, and I'm going to do it. And that's how growth happens. And thank you so much, Michelle, for being that incredible person.
Thank you.
That I know you are.
Thank you.
Let's go to Drew. Drew.
Yeah, I think, I guess I don't know how much I have anything new to add, but I think definitely making sure that you're sort of part of the club rather than sort of this external thing that kind of comes in and comes out and sort of looms over. I think it's a great thing to be able to, like I'll sometimes see like, okay, is there like a missing role here that I could fill, and then take that role, be part of the meeting, like participate, kind of be as if I was just a new member or a guest joining the club, and go through that experience. It also gives me a bit more perspective when I have to write about, okay, how does the club do with new members and guests and other things like that, because I sort of put myself in those shoes. So yeah, definitely just kind of, off of what everyone's saying about like understanding that perspective and making sure that they're comfortable telling you about what things they're dealing with so that you can act on those.
Most people are shy, and also most people don't just vomit up all their problems. You need to build rapport. It just takes time. So I really appreciate that, Drew. All right, so Lindy, I'm going to go to Lindy, and then I'm going to Subhash from Division E4, because I do want to get mostly area directions. But Lindy, you've been there and done that. What can you share about area visits?
It was about 20 years ago, so I know I'm ancient compared with most people on the call. But the main thing I wanted to say is don't take it personally. When you go in and you have all these good things to offer, some presidents, some clubs will just eat it up and be very grateful. And some clubs will behave as though they don't want you there. And I actually was brought to tears when I experienced that. So I just want to say to other people, don't take it personally.
Thank you, Linda. Lindy, that is wise words for everything in life, especially in all relationships. Anytime there's more than one person, like just, it's not about you. It's probably their life is going crazy. Thank you so much, Lindy. I really appreciate that. Hey, so Subhash, I don't see your face, but you are ready to go. Can you share something around area visits? Maybe you have a question because you just became an area director.
Yeah, this was my first time I was actually filling a role because the previous area director quit on us and Garrett filled me in. And I was very nervous about taking it on to begin with, but I'm taking it on and I'm enjoying it because I can network. That's the most important thing. And I networked some great people. And to fill in the roles for the area contest, I was really worried about it, but now I feel much better. We got most of the volunteers covered, except maybe 4 of them. And I was going to ask in this meeting, we just need more volunteers. It's on February 25th. So thanks for giving the opportunity. And I look forward, because I guess it's not counted because I'm only doing for 6 months, but I look forward to doing it again. Thank you.
All right, Subhash, we're going to have a section right before we go to division breakouts where people can call for help or say, I have too many volunteers, please someone take them. Oh, I don't know if anyone's in that position, but yes, welcome Subhash. And if you need help, like, you know, this is your team right here. We're all here to help each other. All right, I see Nancy's on screen, Stacy's on screen. Do you guys want to share something around what's working? What are the pro tips around area visits? Stacy, you are on mute. Share. Yes.
Pro tips. I loved doing the area visits, and I haven't started this round yet because I have to work around my daytime schedule. But the beauty of it is seeing how other clubs run, getting ideas, being able to celebrate clubs that have really refined some systems that are good for their membership. I think the tool around what we do is to really uplift the people for the work that they're doing, not just tell them you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. There's some great, unique tactics out there that people have implemented. And then I love to see the personalities of the individual clubs. Mm-hmm. So that to me was really, really fun to bring to light. Maybe it's my teacher vision to just celebrate people for their differences and their uniqueness. So I've loved doing that.
Yeah, I think that is so important. I think when we start Toastmasters, we have our little club and we're like, this is how it works. This is how it's done. And then you go to another club and they do something totally different. You're like, this is wrong. They're messing it up. They're messing it up. But we have to be open. All right. We have to be open to the many possibilities. And Chuck did his presentation, I think last month, all about his 50 visits to 50 different states. And I think I went to a club in Korea and they started at 7 p.m. and went to 10, and there was heckling and everyone was drinking. It was the most strange, bizarre, tons of swearing. I mean, it was almost like stand-up comedy, like the level of difference. So every club is different. Every club has its own culture and we just have to be open-minded. All right, let's get some more voices in here. Nancy, do you want to share anything?
I always enjoy visiting the clubs and, like you said, learning how they do it and giving tips if they ask on how to get better and different ideas that I've experienced with my club and visiting other clubs. I think it's great to collectively give them ideas on what other clubs are doing, how they're handling contests, how they're handling conflict. It really helps them get a different perspective on ways to manage those types of activities.
Yeah, I love it. That is so great. It's so nice when you can share a tip that's like just obvious to you, but they're just floundering. Like it makes you feel so smart.
Yeah, and then don't try to recruit from other clubs to your club. I've experienced that from other past area directors. They come in and a member will ask about their club and then they'll actually try to recruit them. So fight that. Don't tell them, oh yeah, you can always come, because you're visiting that club. You don't want to try to take their members away.
I've never heard of that, and I'm glad you called that out, because that is not that's not what we should be doing at all. All right, I see Tao on screen. Do you want to share something? You're muted.
Club visits. Yeah, I really enjoy club visits. I think that every club has a different unique culture, and they have their own strengths. So it's really fun for me to also, we can leverage from one club to another. I learn from different clubs and I bring to different clubs. So that part I really enjoy. Although I hate area report, but I find it very helpful because I have to help work with the VPE and the club president on the what's their educational goal for each members who can achieve the goals. So help them to focus to help their club members to achieve their own success. So I think even I hate that, I think it's very helpful.
You know what? I love how you said both that you hate something and love something at the same time. And I think that's how life is a lot of times, right? But the benefit that we can bring as area directors or district officers is allowing them to focus and plan and think strategically, right? Just putting the names on like who's doing level 1, who's doing level 4, right? Those kind of like little questions to your VPE can help them be thoughtful about what's going on. Because even members like, I mean, Tong is my VP. I am just like, the year is flying by and I need to do my speeches. I'm signed up for this week though. So like when your VPE says, hey, when are you doing your next speech? Like it's a nice thing for us as members to be like, oh yeah, I do need to do my next speech. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, put me down for level 1 by this time. So it's actually not bothering people. It's helping them get their money's worth at a Toastmasters. All right, I think we have like a few more minutes here. Stacy, you came on screen. Do you want to share something?
I thought I didn't. I thought everybody else had pretty much covered my tips, but then I did think of something. My clubs are all corporate clubs. They have a very limited amount of time in their meetings. And so what I found works really well is to arrange a separate time to get on Zoom with all of the officers for a half an hour or so. At that time, I can make all of my announcements, also ask them about their challenges and things that they have questions about without taking up their club's valuable time. And I found that I'm very welcome at the club meetings because usually what I do is I just introduce myself, say I'm here to just participate or to just observe and not take the time out of their meetings. So that has been helpful. And then my only suggestion for area directors with those horrible long reports is I go through and do what I can, but there's so much of it that I can't do because I don't have inside knowledge of all my clubs, that I will actually save a PDF and send it to them and ask them to make any comments to fill in all of the educational information and then send it back to me. And that has been helpful for me to get those done. It still takes a long time, but they have been helpful in helping me to fill out their report because I explained to them that it's for their benefit as well as the district benefit. So those are my 2 suggestions.
I love how you thought you didn't have anything and then you brought in such value here, Stacy, because I think that dedicated meeting with officers offline to say like what's going on, how can I help? That's like an innovation. That's amazing. I love it. Is anyone else trying that kind of thing? Anyone else is trying and working? Is it working? All right, everyone's really shy this morning.
Beth?
Yes.
This is Winnie. Just have something we want to share with everybody related to the area directors report. I know that this is a very tedious report. Something that would be helpful is like go to Toastmaster International daily report. I think George, provided some good information. The educational achievement award report that you can print that out and then look at all the achievements from your clubs, and then you can put in the step 4. So that would be big help. So if you go to the VP education, sometimes they may not tell you all the information and sometimes that can be confusing. But if you go to the educational achievement report current year, that everything stated on the report itself. So you can copy it into the step 4. So that will save you a lot of work.
Guys, you should listen to Winnie because she's a pro. She's gotten all her reports in, okay? Like this is pro tips, like for real. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this by reminding everyone your reports are due on, anyone remember? Come on guys, someone has to remind us. When are they due?
May?
1st? May 1st or May 30th? Robin's trying to say something. Robin.
May 1st.
May 1st. Robin, do you want to say something? No, she doesn't want to say. Okay. So guys, did you know that on the day that they were due last time, November 30th, I think probably 20 reports were submitted. I got 2 phone calls of people asking me, where do I put them? I'm not going to call any names. Yeah, I know Lisa's like shaking her head. Lisa is such a planner. She's such a planner. Like, can you imagine, Lisa, on the day of that your area visit was due, you were submitting it? Can you just imagine that? Like, how would you feel? She would feel very scared. Her eyebrows were like, ooh. So listen, guys, this is a chance for you to grow as a leader. If you know you have a lot of procrastination in you, plan ahead. Make the due date much earlier for yourself. And don't forget our incentive. The first 10 get swag. I will mail it to you myself, okay? So please, this is really important. And if we do not get all area visits at 75% or more, we will actually not be able to be distinguished. So even if everyone starts a club, everyone's members all do really great in pathways, Dennis and team start 20 more clubs, we can't be distinguished. So it really does matter. And we use those reports to find the next set of leaders. So really everything is here for a reason. So I'm gonna now call up, oh, you know what? Kevin Markle just put a really good comment, Kevin. Kevin, you're just like hiding back there. Thank you, Kevin. Oh boy, look at that snow. If we don't get the information about what's going on with your clubs in a timely manner, we can't do anything with the data, right? Because we're here to take action and to help people. If someone's blocked and you put it in the report and you put it in on, the day before it's due, how much more time do we have to take action? Very little time. So it's actually really important. Thank you, Kevin. All right, now we're gonna turn it over to Kate. Kate Mills is gonna give us a club officer training update. How's it going, Kate? Woo! Don't forget to unmute yourself, as usual. We still can't hear you, Kate. Can everyone else hear her? All right. Kate, you're still muted. It's really hard once you click sharing. Oh, there you go.
I know. I should have just, there we go. Where's the controls for advancing my slides? That's not good. I apologize, y'all. Can you do the advanced slides for me? The controls are not here.
So what you need to do, because it's a PDF, you need to scroll down. You just have to scroll down.
Okay, I had it live. I'm sorry, I had it as a presentation.
Yeah, just scroll down.
Okay. Got it.
Work? Is it working?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my computer to bring it all up again. Oh, not what I intended. I practiced actually. Come on, come on.
Let me know if you just want me to share the slides.
All right, here we go. All right, everybody, thank you for your patience. So in District 57, we have 1,078 officer roles, but sadly enough, only 974 are filled. So far, we've trained 555 people. So where does that leave us? Let's look at it. Oops, I'm scrolling. Come on. Okay, so we have, it's easy to drift off to the right and look at that. Holy smokes, look at that. Over 4 people trained, over 4 officers trained.
I'm going to share my slides, Kate, because we can't see what you're looking at.
Okay,
So
okay, please do that.
Yep.
I'm going to turn this thing off here so I can see the whole. It's just not working.
No problem. All right, am I
I know. Start with slide 17. I think we are on 17.
Can you guys see the right slides?
No, we're seeing your homepage.
Yeah, so I was, okay, then we have, you want me to go back to screen share?
No, it's fine. Okay,
there we go. All right. Next slide. Mhm. All right, so you see that the second highest number there is 0 officers trained. Not a good picture, is it? Next slide. All right, so this is our challenge. We have done the best we could. The day after TLI, our leader, Donika, has gotten us arranged, and we've got 3 classes scheduled. We've got great trainers with a lot of talent. They know their Toastmasters stuff. They know their officer stuff. They're great facilitators. At the end of the day, we have to do our part and get 419 officers trained. 59 of those have less than 4 officers trained, and we need to bring those up to a minimum of 4, but preferably 7, right? So far we have 95 registered and 24 registered, but wait, that's not such a good number, because we know that from our first class, 27% registered, 27% of those registered actually did not complete the training. They dropped off and never filled up or went through the officer part of it. The event staff and repeat officers are also there. So at the end of the day, we have 55 actual registered club officers coming for the upcoming training on February 11th and February 23rd. We need to get to 419. This is going to take an all-out effort. Next slide, please. So what do we need to do? We need to study our club officer list. So use the latest one. Some officers change up in December, right? So you need to get onto those lists. If you have 2 officers holding 3 roles each, you either have stressed out officers or maybe power hungry officers, but either way it's imbalanced, right? You need to study also to see maybe since 100 people are not filling officer roles in District 57, maybe they could take on a second role. So that way all the officers are getting trained, and minimally you'll get the credit for the training, but also you'll pay attention to who's actually getting those responsibilities accomplished if no officer has been assigned. You need to look at those attendance and registration lists. Now we have Ed and Lisa, who are very busy people, feeding us regular information about who's registered. Then we have Catherine right after the training, who's zipping around saying, okay, these people showed up and these people got trained, and passes that on. And then we have Lisa and George feeding us more information. Who got trained, who needs to be trained. So this is ongoing. They do it immediately, right? So we always have the information. You look at your officer lists, and then what do? You got to work those relationships. And I mean work those relationships. We just had a whole session on how much relationships pay off when you're doing those club visits and you nurture them. So one thing, think about this. You go to your 10 out of 10 President's Distinguished Club and you find one of those passionate pathway officers and you say, how about you do a pathway speech over there at this weaker club with no officers trained on, some kind of a, passion or how to inspire the audience speeches, right? And then you might even develop a coaching relationship there once they start doing that. But just work these relationships, all of them. Club groups, maybe say, okay, this VPE over here has gone on, right? So make sure that you understand who's doing what, who's had training and who needs the training, and see if you can't use some cross-pollination in that process. Okay, next slide. Yeah, we need to sell the officer training. Now, obviously, 55 people is not 419 trained. So we need to we have 2 sessions left, right? 2 sessions left, the 11th and the 23rd. We have to get going on this. I can't tell you what it's like to be a sergeant, what it would be like, I should say, for a sergeant at arms to be sitting there in June, and then it's announced, oh, guess what? We're going back to live meetings. Oh no, we're going to do hybrids. That means the sergeant at arms gets to get the laptop and the projector, the microphone. They get to update the software on the laptop. These questions have to be answered in advance. So all of the officers go to training, they bring back the latest and greatest from their peers that they talked with in training and the trainer, and they have these discussions ahead of time before the next officer crew comes on. So there is probably, I can't tell you how many bits of information I've picked up going to different officer training, not just these. I go to District 4 and other places just to see what they're talking about, because I want to look at the quality and I want to look at the information out there. Who's got the hottest tips to help me do my office roles? So don't send out endless emails. Oh, George sent us this, or then Kate sent us this. And don't do that, because we're not at that point now. We're at the relationship point. We're at the pick up the phone point. Okay. And don't hassle the ones that have already been to training. In fact, give them a lot of credit for going to training. But pick up that phone and say to that secretary, you know what, we've got some important things going on here. I hope to see you at training. Here's a couple of tidbits, that you can learn there. Do something proactive by working your list, all the lists you're getting, but don't just send email after email, because it's not working. It's not working. Okay. So again, thank your officers for attending, but provide them with alternatives. When we get down to the 23rd and you still have, 10 officers left, what are you going to do about it? Okay, it's a little late in the game for that, but there are always those few that maybe have work, they're homeschooling, they're doing a lot of different things. There are some District 4, District 101 in our local area. District 101 has 6 more classes left this month. District 4 is doing 1 hour lunchtime club officer training. So, find those alternatives if you need to. I know we've put out the word that there's, you can go anywhere in the world, and there's the district listing from Toastmasters International, and that shows you where in the part of the world that they are, which clubs are involved, who's giving officer training, and what their schedule is. So do that little bit of, browser research and send it out to your clubs, but get your officers trained, okay? What you don't want to do, don't wait until the contests are over. Now I have these area directors, I got to get my contest done, then I'll worry about officer training. And then you have our division directors. We got to get officer training over with, and then we'll start our contest, right? So you have this, somewhere in the middle, we come together as a team and help each other. Focus in, focus in. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate and team, Lisa, Donica. Everyone is working so hard. And I want to remind everyone about another incentive that we have, which is the No Officer Left Behind. Tong, Regina, and Winnie won that last time, and they got a t-shirt, a custom-made t-shirt. So if you guys want that, we don't have, we honestly could give out 35 of them if all of you guys got 100% of your officers trained. I think the money would be well spent. So please work hard to get your officers trained. And if you check the email that I sent out, first of all, try to get them to a training with other people. That's number one. And then after that, case by case, we can try to come up with an alternative. But there's so much right now. There's so much. Please just get them to an officer training. All right. Next up, we're going to play a game.
Beth, can I add one real quick thing? Just to add on to Kate's great tips there. One of the reasons a club officer might tell you that they can't go to training is because it conflicts with their schedule. The ones that are there, that I am blowing away that excuse. If you go to the registration page, which you get to from the TLI floater on the homepage, I've got about 20 different districts trainings listed. They're happening at all times of the day, all days of the week. And again, they can go to someone else's district training. I see a comment in there that says some districts training is better than others, and I don't disagree. But they will learn something. They will learn something by going to any training rather than no training at all. So ours is great. We'd love to have you come to ours, but if that doesn't work, get to some district officer training, please.
All right. Well, I feel like if you guys haven't got the message yet, you might be taking a nap. All right, we're gonna play a game now. I put the link in the chat. So go to the link and there's a quiz on Mike Raffety's report. I've sent out this email twice now. So if you don't have it, I don't know what's going on with you, but please go to the report. Actually, this is another way to get to it. So go to the form and I'm going to give you guys exactly 5 minutes to do the quiz. And there will be praise and adoration given for the people who win. So is anyone having like problems with anything? Like you can't get to the form, the quiz, it's not coming up. Also, let's just have area directors do this because I know that people like Lindy and Linda and Lisa and Ed
Beth, I'm sorry, but my system at work won't allow me to access it due to their protections.
All right, well, Nancy, we are going to just hope that you will win in your own mind. All right, so is everyone able to get to the form for the game? I see responses coming in.
No.
Oh.
Crumb.
Remember, Linda is not allowed to play the game.
Oh boy.
George, no, not allowed. But yeah, if you're an area director, please, I see responses coming in. People are trying. Is anyone having a problem?
I am.
Who is that?
I'm Debbie. I'm on my phone, and so I just figured out how to get to chat from my phone, but then I wasn't able to get the form. Let's see. Maybe I clicked on the wrong link.
Can I play in Debbie's name?
No. I clicked it. I put it in again. I see responses are coming in. So go to the report and look up the answers. And we're going to see who wins today. How?
Okay, where's the report?
Oh, the answers are flowing in. We have exactly 3 minutes left.
Oh boy. Okay. Let me see if I can get to it now. Okay. Mike Raffety quiz. How many members does
I'm just going to put you on mute because I know that you're doing a lot of good work over there, Debbie. All right. Answers are flowing in. It's so interesting. All right, I'm going to, one more minute. The answers are just really, really, really like flowing in here. Play to win. All right, one more. I guess the time is not passing as fast as I think it is. 1 more minute still. See how much fun we can have on Zoom, guys? This quiz took me about 5 minutes to make, okay? And think about how much fun you can add to any speech by making a little quiz. Of course, there's always the poll features in Zoom, but I think it's really fun to mix it up and add new things. I love how Subarush is messaging Kieran, asking if he's enjoying it. Kieran, I hope you say yes. I hope you say yes. All right. 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. Oh boy, that really did a number on it. All right. And now it is time. Thank you, Karen, for saying yes. I really appreciate that. All right, it's time. So let's hear, I can see the answers, but just because it's going to be easier than me scrolling through all the answers to find the people who did it correctly, come on screen and wave at us if you got all answers correct, because it's self-scoring. So tell us, did anyone get all the answers correct? You have to be an area director. So Lindy, if you did it and you're not an area director, I really appreciate it. All right, Smita, Tong, Debbie, did you get all the answers correct? Let's have everyone
Yes.
everyone else just turn off your cameras. Let's just have the people who got it all so we can celebrate and applause. All right, so A is A1. We often just refer to divisions as like E4, A1, D52, not D52. So Lindy, did you take the quiz, Lindy?
No, you told me not to. I didn't.
Okay.
I followed this very well.
Turn off your camera then, Lindy. We're just trying, just the people who passed. All right. Is there anyone else who passed? Who won? I love Dana's like, can you force a club to have a club coach? No, you cannot. All right, Brooke, you got everything right?
I think so. I can't see where it says it's self-scoring.
Click on view score. Click on view score. There's one more button. All right, because we are at time, let's go ahead and celebrate. Woo! Good job, Tong, Debbie. Good job, Debbie. Smita, Brooke, and Robin. Good job, everyone. So my takeaway on this is this report is amazing. This report is amazing. And you can come in here and get a little to-do list. You can find out what exactly you need to do so you can be very focused every day. And my challenge to you is during your division breakout that you're going to have in just a few minutes here, please go to your list and as a division, look at what your report card, like what do you need to do? Because I think I love to-do lists and I can be focused and can be like, oh, this is what I do next. This is what I do next. We have the chance right now to do great things. We have plenty of time left in the year, but that doesn't mean we just wait. We do it now. Club officers trained. That's a huge number. People getting their club open houses running, because that is a huge number. Those are the things that really win right now. All right, and new clubs. So now let us go to our next section, which is Abe Masliak. And we're going to hear an update. And Abe, we are a little bit behind time, so I'm just going to steal.
All right,
extra
I'll go fast.
All right, Abe.
District bucks. Okay, so last month we talked about new incentives available. We had a bunch of new incentives, actually 14 of them. So there's an opportunity for your clubs to make a lot of money. Linda said that we have tons of money to give away. So take advantage of it. So some of the updates are that we added 2 more open houses. So you can have up to 6 open houses at $50 each for your club. Moments of Truth is a new incentive. Once you get your agenda on Moments of Truth, you get $20. If you have 8 or more DCP points, you get $20. If you double that amount from last year, you get another $20. And then the first 20 clubs with 8 dues paid or a total of 20 payments gets $20. So 20, 20, 20, that adds up pretty quick. Okay, next slide.
Hey, Abe, I want to call one quick thing on this 8 dues paid. You get $10 if you get 8 dues paid, just immediately. And then if you get another all 20 paid, then you get another $20. Like we're just like giving this money away, right?
Yeah, we can't give the money away.
Yeah, we're just doing it. So tell your clubs about it. Okay, next slide.
Next slide. Again, Kate talked about training, and it's really important to take advantage of this. So we are offering 50 district bucks for your 7 officers trained. Now encourage your clubs to do that because we only got 1 submission. And I'm sure there's clubs out there that have gotten 7 officers trained. So don't throw your money away. Take advantage of this. Just an update on club newsletter contest. You still can do it. You can submit them by May 31st. And there's a lot of money to be made. You can make $100, $75, $50 in district bucks if you get it in by June. We have a new incentive called Most Improved Newsletter, and you get $25 for that. Finally, our total district bucks that we've earned up to this date is 6,665, and we want to get to 10,000 soon. Let's do it. Thank you.
Abe, thank you so much. So much energy. This is a new program. It's very innovative. Get out there. If you've just talked to your clubs about these incentives, you will be successful. You will be distinguished because that's the way we designed it. We actually designed it that way. And now I am so honored to bring up Kevin Markle, DTM, our immediate past district director and my mentor, Kevin Markle.
Hey, thanks so much, Bet. Let's do a quick recap, right? I've been speaking at a couple of DECMs now, talking about what we're doing. We're reaching out, we're pulling up our members and our club officers into such fantastic opportunities as area directors, division directors, chairs, and more. Next slide. Why are we what roles are we filling, right? So we focus a lot on the left. We have candidates for district director, program quality director. We're still working on club growth. All right, we're still looking for some candidates for club growth. And I've got 7 of 9 division directors. I'm still looking at UE. I'm still looking at UF. We're doing a great job filling those roles. I don't want to talk so much about the roles on the left, though. All right, we've made some good progress there. You're already doing those things. I want to talk about the roles on the right. All right, that's what I want to talk about today. Next slide. How to apply, right, for any of the roles. Just send me an email. All right. The most important thing, right, is I just need a district leader agreement form. All right. That's the first best place to start. If we need more, we'll let you know. And while the formal deadline is coming up this weekend, we're going to be doing a formal report on March 6th. And I'd love to see candidates, your successors for area directors for your chairs by March 6th, right? So I'm giving you a month to start thinking about your successors. Next slide. Why leadership? All right, why now? We talked about this. Next slide. I remember when just last year, pandemic hit, it was about leading through crisis. All right, we had to shift everything from in-person meetings to online, right? We've all been involved leading through change going into online meetings, changing to focus on pathways. I see an opportunity, though. I see an opportunity for all of us to embrace leading through innovation and growth going into next year. I really do think we're kind of on the second half of the tunnel, and we can see the light. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel where we're going to be able to think about hybrid meetings, meeting back in person, and how that works. I think that is going to be such an exciting opportunity to lead through innovation and to lead through growth, a whole new phase, a whole new chapter in our Toastmasters lives. Next slide. And I really think, how do you lead through that? How do you lead through innovation? And Bet really, I think, hit this on the nail, right? Like Toastmasters is like an MBA in a box. And I want to talk a little bit, like, what do you learn from an MBA, right? You learn business fundamentals. You learn budgeting, you learn marketing, you learn sales, you learn so many different things about running a successful business, right? Customer support, so many business fundamentals. But how do you really take all those specific skills and things that you've learned about running a business? It takes soft skills. You have to learn how to negotiate, to compromise. How do you motivate someone? How do you inspire someone? It's about the leadership skills that you're going to develop, right? Not the management skills, the leadership skills. You know, really interesting thing about MBA programs is that they're all about experiential learning. It's about doing role plays. It's about trying things. Isn't that what we do here in Toastmasters? We're all in this MBA lab where we get to practice and experience all these different aspects of how you learn to run a better business, how you develop soft skills, how you develop leadership skills. And I think a key piece that you also get from an MBA is introspection. Understanding what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what can you do to be a better you. Those are the things that you learn from an MBA. And I think they're absolutely applicable to everything that we learn here in Toastmasters. And we're going to go to the next slide and talk about some of those things. So strategic thinking and planning, right? You're an area director, division director. What's your vision? What's your mission? What is your plan to support your members, your club officers, and your clubs to reach their goals? You learn and practice and exercise those things. And I will tell you, as a marketer, I have to build global marketing campaigns when we're launching new products, right? When we're trying to reach a specific audience, I have to think, what is our plan? How are we going to go about accomplishing that? It is absolutely applicable to what I do in a professional world, to what we do here in Toastmasters. We've all heard the mantra, you can't manage what you can't measure. And I think we just learned exactly that going through that fun game. You need to be able to look at the numbers and understand what's going on. What is the situation, but also what's the opportunity? How can we take from where we are now and get a club to the next level, to get a business to the next level? It's kind of interesting. I've worked with a regional advisor who's kind of like a district coach. And one of the regional advisors I work with says, like, I am not a numbers person. No. But she actually owns and runs her own business. So she has to be a numbers person. I mean, you can't run a business if you can't understand your profit and your loss and the revenue that's coming in. You need to be able to understand your numbers. And if you are involved in Toastmasters, you are involved in the leadership side, you are understanding and building key analytical skills. Now, everybody has a contest coming up, right? Or projects that they're running as chaired. I'll tell you, I had the opportunity to do a virtual wedding for my brother and his wife this past summer, right? Just before my mom passed. I would have not been able to get more than 100 people, 100 different accounts logged into a Zoom with everybody muted and running it and having the right video angles and the right audio. I would not have been able to do that without my experience here in Toastmasters. And can you believe that? I ran a virtual wedding for my brother. I don't know where else you're going to learn those skills and competencies except here in Toastmasters. And that runs for any type of event and thing that you're going to run. You're going to learn so much that you can take away for your personal and professional. Now, it takes a village. Am I right? I mean, all of you running training, you're looking for trainers. If you're running contests, you need a Toastmaster, you need judges, you need timers, you need help. And you have to ask people for help. And sometimes asking for help is really hard for people. It's really hard for people. That's a skill that you need to learn to build so that you can flex it with whatever you're trying to do. And it doesn't end there. I've got a whole second slide with more competencies, right? You've built your team. Now you have to work with them. How do you collaborate and work with peers, with volunteers? Right? It's easy for me to be a manager and tell my employees, this is what you have to do. But how do you work in a positive, constructive way with your peers? You're going to learn all that and more coming up. We talked about area visits. One of the things I love to do, top tip, right? Take a look at the reports and find out in your clubs who has gotten an award. I was actually so surprised we have more than 15 people who have earned Distinguished Toastmaster Awards this year. Wouldn't it be such an experience for you to visit your club and to recognize those members and the clubs for all of their accomplishments? I mean, that is such a great feeling. And that's something that you need to do. I see people posting on LinkedIn, hey, great job for doing this, for being such a great member of the team. Motivating and recognizing people is a critical skill that we learn and we hone here in Toastmasters and that you will use throughout your life. And yeah, when times are tough, right? It's not always recognition and awards. It's working one-on-one with the clubs that might be struggling, with individuals who might be struggling, right? How can you become a coach and a mentor? You can absolutely apply that in the work world, right? If you're managing team members or somebody else on a different team is struggling, how can you lift them up? How can you think creatively, right? I kind of think leadership and what we do here at Toastmasters is kind of like table topics on steroids. You got to think on your feet. You have to find new ways to engage with the stakeholders you're working with, new ways to grow your club, new fun ways to enjoy your meetings. You have to be able to think on your feet and find new ideas, especially as we think about leading through innovation and growth. That, I think, is what's coming up next. How is our hybrid meetings going to work? How are we going to make that transition? You're going to have to flex those skills. I think it is such an exciting opportunity. If you have questions about leadership, about the roles that are available, post in chat, send me an email. Let's talk about it. But I really want to encourage you to think about leading through innovation and growth. That is what's coming up next. It is such an opportunity to develop and hone such valuable skills that you could pay thousands of dollars for in an MBA program, or you can learn it through experiential learning right here, right now. You can contact me, Kevin, at d57tm.org. Bet's put that in chat. If you have questions about leadership opportunities. And here's the thing, right? Now is the time, right now, because you're going to be doing your area visits, you're going to be doing your contests, and you're going to be looking for who's going to step up and take your place next year. You have to look and keep an ear out for who those people are going to be. And right when you're doing your visits and when you're running your contests is the best opportunity to do that. I'd love to hear from all of you with who your successor is going to be in the next 30 days. All right, as you're running these contests, as you're running your visits, tell me, who is your successor going to be? Who is going to rise up to the opportunity ahead to really take advantage of the opportunity of Toastmasters, where leaders are made?
Woo! That was so energetic, Kevin. I think you must have had your coffee, but I know you don't drink coffee. So whatever you're doing, we all want some of that. Thank you so much, Kevin. Woo! All right, everyone has lots of action items based on that. Let's talk about club ambassadors and coaches. Ashley Harkness, you ready?
Oh, yes, I'm ready for sure.
Go for it.
And Bet, I need you to please, I got to get the video up. Please run the video for me. I got the slides. Okay. Well, I talked to Bill Holsey, who was unable to make it today, and he wanted me to pass on that he's had a whole bunch of successful ambassador assignments and that they're working quite well. Apparently, the clubs are very receptive to the idea of getting some extra help to make them focus on distinguishment. There's just a lot of clubs that only need one or two small things, and they can move up and help the district out, help them clubs out, everything. It can really work. He also promises that he will be here next month and have more for us. Okay, thanks. The next slide up. Let's talk about the coaching landscape. I passed around a message to all of the area and division directors just in the last few days, pointing out that there are a lot of clubs out there that have low members. That's true. But if they look exclusively into their own areas and division, they'll find that they don't have that many that really need some help. And that leads me to the next slide, which is I want to offer a Big Brothers Big Sisters program out there. Now, this isn't all that formal. It's very interesting, though. You see, I have in my area one club that was having a lot of problems. They had 8 members. In fact, they were about to get down to 7. And when I came in to visit them, which I did a lot of, they were saying, what can we do? What can we do? And I asked them, I said, what do you want to do? And what they said was, we want to do an open house next week. Ah! Now, how many of you have ever thought about pulling off a flash open house? So I said, well, I'll tell you what, time is of the essence. So when the open house came around, I had already reached out to 23 Toastmasters I knew around and asked them, please just come and fill the spaces. And they did. They came in and they took a couple of roles. One of them offered a speech. Some wanted to do evaluations, and they filled the chairs. The end result was very simple. The energy in the club went way up. Today, they've picked up a whole bunch of new members. They've got a club coach, and they're on their way to greater success. It's a big deal. So I'm suggesting that maybe you guys out there that have the areas, get some of those club members to go with you to visit the club that is having tough times. Come in as a group. Be the fire brigade that comes in and helps them. The key here is show that you care. I've been in some clubs that are struggling. I know you have too. A lot of people are tired of Zoom. They're tired of working by themselves. They're tired of thinking no one cares. You can help a lot by doing that. Next slide, please. So when the area clubs work together and they actually become that group for their open houses and go in there, then everything opens up. The choices become so much bigger and the opportunities too. There's a reverse on this. And that is, once the clubs see the rest of the members are supporting them, they may even come to your clubs to pick up new ideas, to see a different way, maybe just to get the club program running again. So I encourage you, look at those few clubs in your division and areas that need some help, and then get some Toastmasters together as a group and flood the room with people. You'll be surprised how it helps. Thank you.
Woo! That was amazing. Every one of these presentations this morning is just knocking my socks off. I am extremely, extremely impressed with everyone. So we are, let's see, where are we with timing? Next up is I believe it's Dennis. Dennis?
Yes.
Do you have slides or are you just talking to us this morning?
Oh, I didn't receive the link to the slide, so I'm just talking.
Honestly, I think we all prefer that. So Dennis, I'm going to turn over to you about new clubs. Why is it the best time ever to start a new club, Dennis?
Why, Bet, the best time ever to start a club is always yesterday. However, since we missed that opportunity, we're going to jump in and be sure that we start a new club immediately, because we all want everyone to enjoy the joys of Toastmasters. There are 7 billion people out there who need to become Toastmasters, and we can make that happen. People who have made that happen recently, let's look at Beatrice Stonebanks. Now, this is very interesting. There's a group called Provisors, and this is an organization of business networking. Within that organization, they have a Bay Area Women's Affinity group of Provisors. And within that group, they decided, hey, we really need to have a Toastmasters club to help us with our speaking and table topics, which is going to help us with our business networking. So BAWOM, or BAWOM, B-A-W-O-M, she tells me it's not an acronym, but a word. The Bay Area Women's Affinity Group of Provisors has started a Toastmasters club. We have to rethink the idea of what a community is. It's not proximity. It's shared interests over the entire world. And we can use that at this time to create clubs. And you want to create clubs now? because the new member fees and the new club fees are being waived all the way through June. We had said that it was going to be November through January. They said this is working well. We're going to extend it until the end of the fiscal year. So any new club that starts with 20 members right off the bat is going to save $525 off of their initial fees. That is a huge boon and a selling point. It's such a great selling point, in fact, that Smitha has managed to get a club ready to charter with McMillan Jacobs. Smitha, would you like to say a word or two about the experience of starting a new club?
Sure. Thank you, Dennis, for the opportunity. Macmillan Jacob Associates are a new corporate club in area F06. They are an engineering and construction firm based off Wall Creek, and their locations are worldwide. There's a story. Why am I sharing this with you? Because we are all can learn from it. The employees from this company went to a club in area F6, Walnut Creek Toastmasters. That was 2 years ago. He really enjoyed the meeting and thought about it. When his company wanted to start a corporate club, he sent out an email to the president of area F06 club. The president forwarded the email to me. I reached out to him and also contacted Dennis Dawson and took his help. Guess what? Many of us in this room, in this meeting, helped to run the demo meeting. Thank you so much. What is our takeaway from the story? Every club member can impact the whole Toastmaster organization. Sometimes that member is a guest. A passing guest to your meeting can grow our district. This particular member, Kush Chauhan, loved the meetings and wanted to grow a club in his company. What can we do? We never know who can help, a community club or a corporate club. We need to remember to maintain the quality of our meetings so we can grow our district than other people's district. If somebody else from another district started this, they would have gotten the credit. Thank you, Walnut Creek Toastmasters, and thank you, Area F6, and thank you for all of our district to help this happen.
Yes, two things I want to highlight about McMillan Jacobs. The general wisdom is you don't go into a company unless they have 200 employees in one location. McMillan Jacobs doesn't have that. The club is being built around 3 different offices that are all going to meet on Zoom. This wouldn't have happened in the past. The other thing I do want to emphasize, Smitha did so much great work getting this club ready, but there were a couple of places where there were gaps, and the gaps aren't obvious to someone who's never started a club before. And that's why it's important, frankly, to engage me. I'm able to go out and say, hey, Kevin Markle, will you come to this demo meeting? Ashley Harkness, I could use your help. Would you come and be an evaluator? And we pull this together. It's great to be able to use past district directors in these roles just to be sure that they're absolutely crisp and clean. And so please do reach out to me. If you're thinking of starting a club, do it as early as possible. If you're doing everything right, I'm just going to tell you you're doing everything right. And if you're starting a club, you're doing everything right. Bet, back to you.
Thank you so much, guys. I am watching these new clubs start. Beatrice, any club can start right now. Because the cost is so low, we literally can do anything. So if you have some kind of long tail idea, you can make it happen. I was just talking with Catherine Chung the other day, and she's thinking about starting a Mandarin club. I hope she's not mad at me for throwing her under the bus. But anyways, think about it. Like any club, you could do it. Okay, enough about that. I'm very excited about it. Let us now, actually, we have thankfully caught up a little bit. And I actually asked specifically because Kate has a request. So before we go to breakouts, we have about 5 minutes to do a question, like a call for help. If you have more help than you need with your contest, you can offer that up. Does anyone have more volunteers than they need? And if you need volunteers, this is your chance. So we're going to take about 5 minutes, and then I will cut us off and we will all go to breakouts. And by the way, before we do that, Ed, are we ready? Do you want to describe the breakout rooms today? How that's going to work?
There are 9 breakout rooms established, A through I, and you can put yourself in the breakout rooms.
New technology, guys. New technology. Okay, so before we go to breakout rooms, let's go ahead, and anyone who has help, that they want or help that they can offer, let's do that for 5 minutes. Let's make it fair so no one's just talking for the whole time either. So I see Cynthia chatting away, but
can we do clubs? Because Leaders Worldwide needs a chief judge. We've got judges and we've got timers, but we need a chief judge and ballot counters.
Yeah, I think we're probably not going to do clubs though. So area level, division area level, 5 minutes. Michelle.
I could use for area club. I need ballot counters, another timer, sergeant at arms. Those kind of roles. I've pretty much got the judges and contest chair and Toastmaster, but the smaller roles that anybody could do.
It would be helpful to have dates as you're throwing out.
Oh, good idea. My date is February 22nd. The people who have roles would meet at 6 and the actual contest starts at 7. We're doing both contests. I don't think I have a sergeant at arms.
Okay. You want to throw your email in the chat?
Yes, good idea.
I love the request for target speakers because I know a lot of people want that because you get a lot of evaluations. It's a really great way to grow as a person. Vicky, I see you going for the unmute button. Go for it.
Thanks. I also have a contest on February 22nd, same as Michelle. I'm doing pretty well, but I still need 2 more judges, anonymous judges. And I have a few new people who are relatively new to Toastmasters in some corporate clubs and that are a part of my area. And they want to volunteer as a sergeant at arms and as a ballot counter. So I'm encouraging them. Does anyone have feedback on that?
A good question, but I think we're not going to probably have a lot of time to go the pros and cons of brand new people. Let's take that to the chat. But that's a really interesting question. People put comments in the chat box around that one.
Okay, and then I'm helping Sherry Jensen with the H28 contest, which is coming up pretty soon on February 17th. And we need lots of people.
All right, put it in the chat. All right, we have like 2 minutes left for calls for help.
Well,
anyone else?
Yes, good morning. This is Regina. I'm with area D12. I do need assistance with ballot counters and timers. I put my email inside the chat room, so please reach out to me. I'm also going to put my cell phone number for assistance. Once again, this is Regina, area D12. I do need assistance for next Saturday, coming real soon at 9:30 a.m.
Awesome. All right, who else? Who else? I know Cassandra's come on. Who else needs help?
I need help. This is Subhash.
All right.
E4 area contest on February 25th from 6 to 9 p.m. I need another judge, a tiebreaker judge, a sergeant at arms, another timer, and a ballot counter. So anyone is interested, please send me an email. I put my email in the chat box and also my contest chair, Kiran Vela. I put her email too. Thank you.
Awesome. I love what Subhash just said, is that he is a contest chair. If you do not have a contest chair who's not you, please get one, because you can then be just asking for help from someone else, like for someone else versus trying to do everything yourself. All right. So make sure that you have a contest chair. Pro tip. All right, let's just get one more minute of people asking for help.
Hi, this is CJ in area F20, F16. Need help. We're having our contest March 2nd.
Awesome. And you guys, we also have a speakers bureau. So Gary McKenzie, I think that's how you say his last name. His whole job is speakers bureau. So he's recruiting speakers and he's very happy to give you guys speakers. And he's put it in the newsletter a few times now that if you need a speaker, please reach out to him. So he's putting that together. So if I'll put his email in the chat. All right, and Dennis is saying if anyone needs a target speaker, he knows a bunch of people from District 101, and that's really good because target speakers from another district, no one knows them, and so it's a lot more fair for the contest. All right, well, with that, thank you guys. I hope people got some good information here. We are going to now try something brand new. So Ed, go ahead and open up the rooms. It's time to self-select. Go to the breakout room that you want to. If you're a chair of some sort, you can join whatever group you want to. But while you're there, think about your to-do list from Mike Raffety. Focus on the things that have to be done to be successful, because now is the time that we have the ability to make change. A few months from now, we're not going to be able to make any change and we're just going to be frustrated. But if we take action now, we could be presidents distinguished. We could. We're doing great. We're definitely one of the top districts in the whole world. So let's go ahead and open up these breakout rooms, Ed. So go to the bottom of the screen and click breakout room and go find the room that you want to go to. And Sherry is asking a good question around saving the chat. I think it's probably a good idea to, before you go to the breakout room, just click save the chat, save chat, and that way you can see it yourself. Definitely grab it before you head out.
Mention the 3-dot button.
Yeah, 3-dot button.
And people are moving into the breakout rooms slowly, but
yes. So Stacy, Ed's whole job is to just make Zoom links for people. I mean, he has a lot of other jobs too, but that's one of the big things he does is make Zoom links. So make sure you email him. We have 9 Zoom accounts plus the trios each have and we have a divisions Zoom account. We got plenty of Zoom accounts. Yep. All right. Dana's having a problem, Ed. If you can help.
This is Debbie.
On
I don't
the
see the
Zoom
breakout
accounts?
room. I don't
Okay.
see breakout room.
Yeah, someone is sending the breakout room for yet.
So
at the bottom, click on breakout rooms at the bottom of the screen.
At the
It
bottom of the
does-
screen.
It doesn't show up on my phone.
Doesn't show up on mine either.
Okay.
I need to go to Division D, Carolyn.
Okay.
So Ed will be managing it, guys. Don't worry.
If you can see
One quick
the
point on-
breakouts, when you go over to the right where the number of people in each room, that's where the join button is.
I don't even see that on my phone.
Right.
So don't worry, Ed will send you to the right place. Debbie is in Division F, Ed.
I see people going in, but there's no way to sign yourself into it.
Ed should be able to manage it if you just give him a moment.
So how do I save chat now?
Okay, there's the 3 dots at the bottom of the chat. There's a little button that has 3 dots in it. Thank you, Venkat.
Next to the word file.
Next to the word file.
I'm sorry, Debbie, where did Debbie want to go?
Debbie goes to F.
F?
Yep.
F is in Frank. Okay, good.
Bhaskar goes to H.
H, okay. Chuck to C.
Yes, please.
Abe, where would you like to go?
You can put me into I.
All right. There you go.
Thanks, Ed.
Let's see, George, Bet, Julie, Vivian Fay, where would you like to go? Vivian, are you there? Okay.
Let's not worry about Vivian.
Hans?
Yes, don't worry about Vivian.
Where would,
No.
Hans, where would you like to go?
Hans might be with us or Division F.
Yeah, that's cool. Put me in F.
Okay.
Stacy needs to go to the D.
I don't see, which Stacy? Stacy Smith is in there.
No,
Hey,
JC, I
Jen,
can move him.
J.
You want him in D?
Yeah, JC is a D. JC is our Division D director.
Okay, off he goes.
Division D, Area D. Or area
And Division D for Vivian, People Movers.
Got it. What,
Thank you.
how about Wing?
Wing is not on audio.
Okay, so now it's just Bet, George, Julie, Kevin, and myself. And
That's
Wing.
right.
All right, let's gossip.
I love it.
Just kidding. Well, let's stop the recording first. All right, everyone, have a great time. Bye.